very, very long. Okay, the Hangouts on air live. Hello, everyone. It's Robert Wilbur 24/7. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see I have a banner at the top. Um, I believe it says PC Linux Advisor or Linux User. Um, okay, so anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is talking about how blogging and it relates to the user and the author that writes the blog. And I have a account with Medium, and I have account also with Tumblr. And so one of the things that I've encountered uh, doing the blogging on the Medium is a lot of engagement between the readers and other authors who write blogs there on Medium, and also on Tumblr as well. Um, I went to different profiles there on Tumblr and made my comments and whatnot. And basically, I've got feedback. Actually, they have a small message chat where you can like leave a message, sort of like on Facebook. So, anyways, um, I I tried to figure out a system that would work where I can engage with the readers that read uh, on Medium as well on Tumblr. And what I've come to find out is, I said the simplest thing for me was to really go to blogs that were sorry relative to my interest, and so that's what I actually set out to do. And I went to several different blogs, and I made comments. Um, I followed them, and then when I read a post and made my comment, I did a repost or republish. In different mediums, it's different. I think on Medium, uh, I think you just repost. I think it's repost. On Tumblr, I think it's republish. I think, or it might be vice versa. But anyway, you get the gist of it. Is that well, my aim is really to one, read other people's blogs that they've written, that they've written, and then comment on them, and then republish or share them. Okay, with like Twitter and Facebook. Like on Medium, they have Twitter and Facebook. Okay, I believe on Tumblr it is different. I think they share with each other amongst themselves. I haven't seen as of yet any um, way to share that to Facebook or Twitter. Um, I do know that they're connected with SoundCloud, and I do believe Spreaker, because SoundCloud and Spreaker, I think, are working in tandem with one another. So, anyways, um, that is basically my aim. That's my goal, and so I did some posts, and probably from what I read there on Tumblr, I won an award because I posted 25 posts already. On Medium, I have a lot on Medium. Yeah. If you go to Medium, probably looking up Robert Wilbur or Robert Wilbur 24/7, you will see it's a lot of posts. As a matter of fact, I think I have a different account there, so there's probably two accounts with the name Robert Wilbur attached to them. And so, anyways, let me make a little slight adjustment here. Okay. So, both of the Tumblr and the Medium I use, and my reasoning behind going to Medium versus Blogger. Now I have a Blogger account as well, but I decided to go with Medium because it was simplistic and it was how could you say the word that I could use, that a term that would describe it. It was clean. It was simple. Um, the people there, it was like a theme of basically people who love to write and people who love to read, and that was a community that I was searching for. Actually, I thought to actually create one myself, and so I really wanted to find a community that was like that. And when I went to Medium, I saw that that was their focus: reading and writing. To me, the writing is cool, and you have lots of communities that do writing, people who love to write, and but not a lot of people are doing the reading. And so as writers, you want to have feedback. That's why I put on the end of the title here, feedback, blogs, the feedback. And it's important to the writers, the authors, the content creators, just like they have the content creators on YouTube. So um, that's important, I think, um, to the authors and creators uh, that create, their content that they do, and they work hard at it. Um, it takes a lot of time prep to write things out, and I know especially with video it does, but I think some blogs it takes a little more time, because you have to figure out what is your topic going to be, what you're going to write about, and how consistent are you going to be? Is it going to be daily, or is it going to be weekly? Is it going to be monthly? And right now, I'm posting as is convenient for me. I have other things that I do, which mostly is related to to church, and what I do there at the church, and doing outreach to the community and the youth. We have a youth program we're doing with the youth, reaching out to the youth, um, called Espresso Night, and we're helping the young people, get get themselves back on track. And it's also where they can come together in a group and talk about the issues that they're concerned with. Maybe they can't talk with their parents about it, but in this setting, they're able to talk about them. And then we have like these question Q&A sessions where we'll talk about different issues that are going on, just kind of in generally with teenagers, and things that are maybe going on in high school. Anyways, I'm getting a little long with on that, but it's a passion of mine, to reach out there to the young people, because there's so many young people out there that are really open to any and everything. They are looking for something to do, and it's often not a positive thing that they're doing, or positive people who they're engaging with. And I've seen them. I see it in my community, um, locally, and I see it abroad, on the news. And I'm sure anyone that's listening can equate with that, and how that is an issue that really needs to be dealt with. And in my county, in the Ventura County area, 805, we, it's a relatively large area. I think the 805 is um, probably larger than the Ventura County. Well, not larger than Ventura County, but Ventura itself. But um, the things that I see going on when I go to the local newspaper and see, there were stabbings, there were shootings, there's people committing suicide, all types of like home invasion and all types of stuff, and you'll never know this if you don't like check the local news, the Ventura County uh, uh, press. And so my thing is that reaching out to the community and have us work together is important to I think everyone. They like to have a community that they feel safe in, and I think if we work together, it can be safe. You know, I know they have within the community leaders a lot of things they do, like Neighborhood Watch, which I don't know a whole lot about. I know they have actual signs they put up so that, excuse me, when criminals and stuff come in the neighborhood, they know they got people that are going to be watching and reporting. So that's a good thing as a deterrent, for the criminal undercurrent there that's going on in the city. So anyhow, going back to when I was talking about blogging and the different type of content that you could create, I often when I'm out and about at, let's say, like Starbucks, sitting there having coffee or something, drinking, I think about some of the things that I see going on around me. Um, and there was one incident where I was sitting there, I was having a coffee, doing some writing, um, posting a few things to my blog. I did doing some editing. All of a sudden, you see a van take off, speeding off, the wheels spinning and burning rubber, whatnot, and you hear a gun go off, pop, 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 and he speeds off and around the corner, and I said, wow, in broad daylight though, and I thought, wow, I I remember, I'm from Los Angeles, so I've seen and heard things like that. Some that's on the news, and some that that I was like witness to, and it just surprised me in in this area to see something like that really in broad daylight. So that tells me that the criminal element is becoming much bolder. Um, it is becoming really much bolder. Uh, going back thinking to an incident that happened. Well, it didn't happen the day of that we had church, but I do remember after the incident because there was a shooting, and it happened in the alleyway behind the church, and they had the yellow tape, and they had policemen and stuff out there. They had the shell casings and all of that kind of regular things that happen when the shooting happens. But it was a little concerning, I think, for the people in the church, and I had to keep watch. I was just concerned for the kids, And when you start wandering off, wanting to see what's going on, I remember had two kids, two male kids that I was telling to, I was reverting them back to the front of the church or somewhere visible where, members could see them, see. And I remember them telling me that you're not our daddy. It was like, this has nothing to do with I'm trying to be your daddy. This has to do with your safety. And, I know as young people, kids listen to their parents or their respective parents, or they'll follow their direction. But when an adult tells you, and a leader in the church tells you, hey, advise you, because like I said, there were, yellow tape and there's police out there. That's not a place for a child to be hanging out. I don't know if anyone would agree with me on that, but I don't think that's the place for them to be hanging out. And, it's just interesting. I remember, I think I had suggested, to a friend of their father, just, hey, that I was just suggesting that they, matter of fact, I did talk to the father and told him about their attitude, and it was only for their safety that I was concerned about, and he told me he would take care of that, and he said he appreciated it, so this is the type of environment that anyone can find themselves in. Safety is key, and I think it's significant. I'm getting off topic again, but anyhow, I forgot to turn the video camera on. My bad. I have been testing the video and the audio, but hopefully, if you viewers really find the material, the content that I put out in my blogs, if you do a Google search, you will find me. I would use the Robert Wilber 24/7. Okay, don't add anything else. Just Robert Wilber. That's WIBER 24/7. Okay. You should be able to find, what I'm doing currently. I had another Gmail account that I guess the prefix of it was No 9 to 5 Blogger. I was very much into blogging, still into blogging, and as you can tell, I'm making this actually, in the forefront of what I want to do. I've been doing research and things on the platform of blogging, and I'm just reading an article lately that said basically that blogging used to be a more of I wouldn't say social thing, but it's a social thing, but it was more of a hobby for some, or like a diary, where they would log and put things in that happened to their daily events and things that would happen, and they would put it out there and look for feedback from the readers that read it, and there were lots of readers that were coming to read, but the author that was reporter that was writing, he said, it's not the same back in that time, like 2008. It was a different time, although a lot of people are doing it, and he suggested, hey, blogging on the web is not the thing to do. Um, the mobile market is where it's at. But, you can have a blog still and it's set up with, with, compatibility with, mobile devices and things such as, the phones and tablets and uh, such. So, um, I mean, what, platform, what you're going to be using? Because the tablets are surfing the web too. Phones, they're surfing the web too. Um, but if you design, say, your website, your blog, whatever, with more of a mobile design, okay, then that would make sense. I can understand that, but to say that we don't need to make any more blogs, don't make any more blogs, that doesn't make any sense to me. Businesses are doing it, you know. Um, business people are blogging, and most businesses are online, So I mean, it's not that I dismiss that, you know, what you know what he was saying in the article, but blogs are still relevant, and I don't think that he wasn't saying that they are not relevant. I think that he was saying lean more toward the mobile market, and it's a huge market. Um, I was just on Pinterest. I guess that's how you pronounce it, Pinterest. All the these pictures and things it is now, from what I've read, it is somewhere around 15 billion pins. Now, if how many people are pinning, not how many people, but how many people that pin, they've been pinning about 15 billion times. So people are busy in that arena, in that platform, to where businesses are advertising, and they're not only that, they're uh, monetizing Pinterest. They're monetizing Pinterest. So they're like, if you're going to have a Pinterest account, um, you know, benefit from it. So that means that if you monetize it, so they're going to push ads, while you're putting your um, your pictures there and posting them and setting all of that up. People that are surfing through the different pictures and boards that you have, in the different categories or whatever. So there be some ad that somebody's going to click on and buy something. So you're going to get part of that revenue. And so that's it's a big enough pie for everybody to get a slice of it. And so I just think maybe I'm a little old school in how I do the engagement, writing, commenting on the blog, and then engaging with the users, you know. Um, and so to me, it may be old, I don't mind, if you use that term, say that I'm old school, that's fine, but I do believe people, when people write something, if I go and I comment on it, and I tell them, hey, I liked your blog, and I like what you wrote, and then I can give some detail about it, and then I also uh, repost it or share it. Okay, and I let them know in the comment. Now they're like, oh wow, oh thanks, I really appreciate that. A lot of folks, I think, On Twitter, I could be wrong about this. They are on Twitter. They are uh, someone I've read. They said like business people, they're doing this, and some other individuals are doing this. Is automatic, um, like following. Like if someone follows you, this automatic follow, and it makes other people think, oh well, I followed them and they followed me right back. Well, that's not human ingenuity. That's the software program that did it. You know, um, I can understand that if you have you know thousands and thousands of followers, yeah, that makes sense because you know you know as a human you can only do so much. You can only do so much. Even having a blog, having a couple of hundred people, and then trying to respond to all of those people, you may not be able to do that humanly. Um, so you would either have to pay some people to help respond back, just like with politicians. Um, they have a blog set up or whatever, and people who to talk with them or whatever. Um, they would um, they have a blog whatever set up. The politicians would have somebody that would respond back to the that would respond back to the the user, whoever it is, and hopefully that that because they don't have the time really. If we have hundreds or maybe thousands of people, let's take for instance the president. He has a blog. I'm sure he does. Actually, did and seen that. But I bet you he has somebody, hired somebody, or had someone else hire somebody to respond to people that left messages on the blog and said, "Oh, President, we love what you're doing and best thing for this country." Um, so he has someone set up for that. I mean, that's just in politics, but I'm sure celebrities as well. When you are out in the eye of the public, there's lots of people, and you can't respond to all of them, manually. Like yourself tweeting back to people, um, but I mean, you can do with some, but there's only so much you can do. You could spend, if there's a lot of them, you could spend, a considerable amount of time doing that. Um, I'm going to, let me see, let me check this chat thing there. Nobody's in the chat. We're talking for a minute. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that. Screenshot that. I'm setting this thing up. All of this is pretty fairly new to me. It's disabled. Oh, can't do that. No. Gotta turn it on. Okay, let's do that. Okay, it's on. Okay. I don't know. Well, I tried to turn the feature on. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyhow, if you have questions, comments, and things, you can do that on the Google Plus page. You can do it on my YouTube channel. leave some comments there. Really would love to hear any kind of feedback that you really had about. I know I talked about a bunch of things that was unrelative to the topic, but I did talk on the topic, like I said, blogging, and I think on the topic of blogging, there is a individual, a man who, in my mind, really is an expert in the field. He's been in the field for a very long time. I did, read one of his books. Um, you know, it was something about the six-figure, um, how to blog your way to a six-figure income. I do believe that's somewhat close to it, not verbatim, but you can look that up on eBay or somewhere. But his name is Darren Rouse. I think that's Rowse. Very, very intelligent individual. I like the way he has his site set up. We just listened to a podcast not long ago. He had another company that he uses that helps him helped him to set up his landing page. It's the first page that you see when you go to his website, ProBlogger um, uh, dot com. So, um, what sorry, what he does is he helps people who are just starting off wanting to blog, and he has lots of tips and different tricks and tutorials and things to help you get to where you need to be or get started. And the different tools. You have lots of resources right there on his site, as well as books that he has, and he's a photographer. As a another thing, bit of experience that he has. I really appreciate him. Um, that's one person I can think of just off the top of my head that uh, really would be a person to go to, and I think he does has the mentality to want to engage with his audience, um, and he does believe in engaging and listening to what his um, readers really want, and that's important. That's so significant. I think a lot of times um, businesses carry this unprofessionalism, and so they value or they don't value their customers, and so you have the customers with this kind of backlash of negative commentary toward them, um, and it, all of it will go to the manager, and they hear it, and they're like, "Hey, your salesperson was really rude. They weren't helpful. Um, I don't think I want to come back to your store." Now, this is the result of unprofessionalism. And I think that's something that is lacking, not only in the business world, but I think also just people who are supposed to be quote unquote professionals, and they have a business, but the customer is not number one. I mean, To me, I don't understand that. If somebody can help me with that, I don't understand that you know the customers are the ones that buy the product or you know pays for the service that the company um, you know puts out. So to me, the customer should be at the top, at the top of their minds, and making sure the customer. It's like an old saying: the customer's always right. Right. So if you sell a product, sell a service, and the product is not good or the service is not good, um, the first thing to my mind is refund. You know, with some professional. How can we make this right? Attitude, not you know, um, what did you do to the product, and did you know, is are you trying to be shaped? I've heard this type of dialogue between business owner and and usually it's not really the business owner, but some been more the ones like maybe a salesperson or what do you call, like a little peon, someone who's just working there. They punching the clock, trying to make their a paycheck so they can go party this weekend. That you know that misrepresents the company, and see that's why people get fired. You know, they don't understand the brand loyalty, and you know and I say brand loyalty. When you work for a company or business, okay, it is the how you represent yourself, you represent the company. And so if you have a bad attitude, okay, um, and the customer um, gets treated badly, that's gonna reflect on the company, and you quite possibly may lose your job because you know they're not going to take a loss because you had a bad day, whatever the reason. Doesn't matter. You're supposed to be about the business of being of a professional manner. Help someone if you can, and if you don't, maybe you need to be retrained. Okay, um, but you at least should say, "Ma'am, sir, how can I help you?" If you don't know what to something, you find some ma'am, sir, could you wait right here, and I will get someone to assist you. Just bear with me for a moment, and I will bring someone back here to help you. Okay, that's how you do that. Okay, it doesn't have to be verbatim like that in word for word, indeed, but in that same vein, in the same neighborhood. And anyways, I just think that this type of attitude, whether when you're online and you put out something, you write out something, don't do it halfway. Do it. Take your time, and to till you're satisfied to push out that content, excuse me, and it's ready, and then put it out. I know that was my issue when I used to have, a blogger account a while back. I think that's when I had No 9 to 5 blogger. And it wasn't that the things that I had written on there were just offensive or junky. Well, some stuff was just kind of random, and it was, oh, this is what happened today. I think when you putting out content, you got to be a category. Like the category is, like a like we have a food diary. And so this is what I ate today. This is how I made it. Okay. And you tell people this is why I chose, these ingredients. And so it fits in the category food diary. So we know it's going to be about food, but don't have a blog and you title it, um, you know, I love blogging, and that's too general and too generic. I mean, they're like, okay, what are you talking about? What is your topic? Okay, yeah, you're blogging, you're writing. Okay, but what is your topic? Um, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about cars? Are you going to be talking about music? Is it going to be about technology? You know, so you have to have a topic, and when you have that topic, you have your stuff together. You have it all written out. You have it edited and polished and everything, and it's ready. Then you publish it. Um, I found this out, reading different articles. One of my, how do I do this? You know, uh, you know, how do I, set up my RSS feeds and, make sure that, people know about it, do, the marketing side of it, pushing it out to Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter and, you know, like right now they got the Stumble On and Pinterest and, all types of, places that you could, share and publish and market. So you use whatever that you can use and to get, your the word out about what you're writing, your work, your content. You know, I see a lot of folks on YouTube that they vlog, and it's like a daily like diary. They just go throughout their day, and they might say, "Hey, well, I'm gonna go from like this one I seen. It's a a daily vlog, and he says on certain days, and so the people watching, the viewers know on certain days that they're gonna go out and eat somewhere, you know. Um, and when he posted, they go, okay, oh, he's gonna go to McDonald's today, and so him and his grandfather, whatever, father, whatever, go out and eat, you know. So, because you have the category and the title or topic, whatever, they know what to expect. They know when to expect it, so they know when to tune in, and that makes sense. I mean, if you just like with a cable, you get cable connected and everything into your TV and everything, and you go through the channel lineup and you see all these things, but they don't tell you what time it's on. You're like, okay, when is it on? Is it on now, or this is just telling you when it's coming on? You see how that can be confusing, and so that's what some of it I read and some actually heard a podcast about. And so, it's these things that are important that help your viewers, your listeners, if you do a podcast, um, and your readers if you have a blog. So um, all of these things are important and relevant. And so um, I'm going to cut this thing short to now. Just say, hey, if you enjoyed this time, talking about, like I said, blogging, commenting, and getting the feedback. I really, and usually I talk more about feedback than anything, but that's important to me too. I think for anyone that write, they want feedback. Feedback helps the writer, um, you know, do not only do a better job, but focus what he's writing um, with an ear, about what the readers want. You know, it makes sense, to kind of listen to what your reader is interested. I mean, they come to your blog to read what you're posting, you're writing. So if they say, well, we want to see more of this, that's what you do. Okay. But again, I decided, when I go and I do my writing stuff, I'm going to write about things that are within my interest. And when I go out and comment, I'm going to other authors, writers, content producers that are also doing things that are within my interest, that interest me. And so it's going to be a whole a lot better, fluidity, when, they're doing things I'm already interested in. So it'll be a lot simpler for me, to write some good comments on their blog. If I'm already interested, I don't have to look up, research and figure out what this topic is about, and then write something interesting about it. I already know because I'm already interested into that type of thing. Like, for instance, coffee. I'm into coffee. You know, I can tell you a lot of just as an example, a lot of people that drink coffee, look Starbucks, um, you know, they go to the tea leaf and whatever that place is called, to drink coffee. But real coffee drinkers, not to say that they can't go places, they don't have establishments that have, coffee that real coffee drinkers would drink. There are some, um, and I've been to some of them. You know, one was a place in Ventura, but they moved. Well, they had one there, but they have it other places in different cities. It's called Badass. Now, it's really good coffee, and they got a really wide variety of coffees there. Um, Really unique flavors, and that's the key. There is that they have variety and they have great customer service. Two key things: great customer service, um, great variety, and let's not forget the coffee's great. Because if the coffee's not good, I mean, I wouldn't go. Real coffee drinkers wouldn't go. They have, like, regular coffee drinkers. They go anywhere. Just grab a cup of coffee. It's just coffee. To me, it's not coffee. If you know, like, I drink, the coffee I drink now, I drink is UBAN, only because UBAN has been around like forever. Okay, um, or like Farmer Brothers, they've been around like for a long time. So that was one reason, to get that, the UBAN, um, because it has, really good flavor, you know. But I mean, I went to Starbucks, and the only thing I drink there is the dark roast. That's the only I've drank the other, but it's that the other is just coffee. The dark roast is decent, you know, it's worth, paying for it. But the other, no, I mean, I won't pay for it. Now, if someone gave it to me, I mean, drink it, but I won't pay for it. You see the difference? So, that's something that I'm interested in. I could talk about that. Um, Back in the day, I used to, uh, take coffee beans, have a, coffee bean grinder, I used to grind the coffee. I had bottled water. All right, it was decent. It made the coffee really good. I mean, it's fresh. The consistency of the flavor, it stayed there. Now, I have coffee, and I'm happy that I have it. I'd rather have it than not have it. And I have New Band. New Band is great, but um, I'd rather have it whole bean. And I learned this from a very close friend of mine. He's a real private person, so I won't say his name. But he loves coffee too. And you know, I on Medium they have this blog there called Coffee Licious. I think that's what it's the name of it. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, but they have lots of really really good content on Medium. I can't say enough about it. The really interesting stuff they're writing on Medium. I've spent a lot of time on there writing myself and reading. Now Tumblr is like not it's not new. Tumblr's not new, but I remember when they had this other platform called Posterous, which um, I think Posterous, and it wasn't Tumblr back then. Tumblr was called something else. I forgot the name that it was that they were using, um, and so they used to. They were so similar. Posterous, died off I think in 2013. But so I've tried these different places. But Tumblr is different, and they got some interesting things going on there. On Tumblr, you know, it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people there. It's it's a lot of people there, just like on Pinterest, and so um, that's not the reason that I go there, but it really has to do with um, you know the website's features and how it's set up. It's set up different. I think some things. You know, I have some pet peeves about like you click on um like your profile. There's this hovering screen that comes up, and then you got to click on that to actually get to the page and see all of what it looked like. Um, and the dashboard, um, the dashboard there so that to like edit and post things there, put in audio or video. Um, I don't know why people are getting away from that. Tumblr is getting away from you know when people uploading videos. I think they probably ran into issues when folks upload stuff. If folks have bugs in their system and they upload it um, to the website, like Tumblr or Blogger or WordPress or whatever. So they have to make sure that um, the stuff that's being put in there is, and they have to beef up the security and so it causes problems. I think that's why they just rather use a URL, just put the little address in there, and then it'll post, right? So yeah, I mean I can't blame them. They want to keep the site safe, and they don't want it to, with some malicious stuff in there and cause it to crash. Nobody wants that. Anyway, I said I was going to go. Um, I thank you all for watching, and like I said, I already told you different places where I'm at. Um, And then there's some other aliases that I sort of doing that mention. No 9 to 5 blogger. There's some stuff out there with that. So, anyways, everyone take care. Peace. Have a good day.